Wonderful. Greetings, greetings, greetings. My name's Leah. I'm the Naturally You coach, best-selling author, speaker, nutritionist, life coach, live blood analyst on a mission to help 100,000 Black women to eat for health, think for happiness, and live in harmony, or what I call becoming naturally you. Thank you for joining me today on this live. If you are here via the replay or you are with me live, thank you so much for choosing to spend some time with me when right now there are literally hundreds of other places online you can go because we're in the middle of a COVID-19 lockdown. So today we're going to be talking about an immune boosting AM tonic that you can start taking or implementing into your regular routine. Before we start talking about that, just to remind you that the Black Mama Circle, which is a 9-week natural health and personal development online program designed specifically for Black mothers to boost their health naturally, is going to be starting next Thursday, the 30th of April. And you can find out more about that at blackmamacircle.com or thenaturallyyoucoach.com/Black Mama Circle. Greetings, lovely people. Thank you for joining me today. If you haven't already joined the mailing list, then please go ahead and go to thenaturallyyoucoach.com and join the mailing list so you can find out when I'm going to be going live, what I'm going to be talking about, and any special offers, products, programs, all that good stuff that is coming up. And as an easing subscriber, greetings family, thank you for joining me. As a newsletter subscriber, you would get a discount on pretty much everything that I put out there. Later on today, if you're interested in home education, then I'm going to be talking with Jamelia from Jamelia's Table. So if you go to YouTube and search for Jamelia's Table or Jamelia, and we're going to be discussing home education. So it's going to be myself and a sister called Mrs. Roberts from Thankfully True. She's got a YouTube channel called Thankfully True, and she's a home educating mother. And then Debbie Field-Pilou from Black British Parent. We're all going to be discussing home education because basically Jamelia has created a virtual Jamelia's Table. So we're going to be talking about home education at 6 p.m. this evening. So again, you can go to YouTube and search for Jamelia's Table, and 6 o'clock we will be there talking about that very subject. Greetings. Thank you for joining me, lovely people, on Facebook and Instagram. So today we're going to be talking about something that I know a lot of people, especially if you're Caribbean, from the West Indies, I know a lot of people already know about this tonic, but also not a lot of people there are a lot of people that it's brand new to as well and are not sure. Well, they know about the individual ingredients in this tonic, but they never knew that putting them together could be something that could help support their immunity at this time. So, firstly, it's an immune boosting tonic because the ingredients in it are all renowned for helping your immune system to function more optimally. And that's mainly helping white blood cells to produce viable white blood cells, because you can have a whole bunch of white blood cells, but if they're not viable, if they're not active, then they're not going to actually be able to do their job. 60 to 80% of our immune system is found in our gut. So the other brilliant thing that you can do to boost your immunity and to keep your immune system prepped so that if you do come in contact with different pathogens, which is any organism that can cause disease, then your body is in a better place to be able to fight it off. With this COVID-19 situation, a lot of people are more interested in boosting their immunity naturally. And we did a whole talk on, I did a whole session on immunity previously, but I wanted to share this specific tonic because I realized I didn't actually mention the tonic in the last video. And this is such an easy thing that you can add to your life. The ingredients are not difficult to find. Again, it's something that a lot of us used to use or have heard about our parents using. Greetings, darlings. Thank you for joining me. Miss Melody. Lovely to see you, sis. Again, yeah, so it's something that a lot of our parents knew about or used, but, we just didn't maybe follow on the tradition. But it is actually such a simple thing. The ingredients are quite readily available as well. And it's something that all ages of people can implement and include in their life. Also, so Also, the word tonic, if someone refers to a tonic, it's basically a drink, normally a drink, that has health boosting properties or has properties that are beneficial to your health. Now, do bear in mind that calling something a tonic can make someone have that psychosomatic response, that kind of sugar pill response, that, oh, I'm taking this thing and it's making me healthier. So you can have that response to taking tonics as well, because some tonics that you will find out in the world actually have quite a lot of not that helpful ingredients in them. You might have like a ginger tonic, but it's got like 4 different types of sugar in it or something like that. So you can have, it is possible for things to make you feel better on a psychological level rather than it have that, basically the placebo effect. This, on the other hand, does not have a placebo effect. This is definitely, the ingredients in here are actually active ingredients that do actually have a significant impact on your health and well-being. Just like with almost everything that I recommend, number one, if you personally start having a negative reaction to it, then draw back from it. If there are any specific ingredients in the tonic that I mentioned today that you know you have a sensitivity to, then you shouldn't be implementing it, or you should find alternatives or alternative sources of the things that I'm mentioning, and we can speak about some of those. And nothing works in isolation if you want holistic health. So if you want to live holistically, you can't take a bunch of supplements and you're not drinking enough water, you're not getting enough rest, and you're still eating loads of junk food, and you're super stressed all the time, because you have to have some level of holistic balance in your life for any of these things to have an impact. And again, we don't want to turn herbal medicine into pharmaceutical drugs insofar as we take these natural things to get rid of the symptoms that we have, but we never then address the cause of those symptoms. And then we end up in a situation, just like with pharmaceutical drugs, where we become reliant on natural remedies and think, okay, I always have stomach upsets or indigestion, and as long as I take peppermint tea, I'm fine. But as soon as I stop taking peppermint tea, then I get sick again and I get indigestion again, because then all you're doing is managing the symptoms. And holistic health is not about managing symptoms. Holistic health is almost entirely focused on creating balance at a cellular level and holistically as well. So again, balancing the health of you physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually as well, if you're that way inclined. So the ingredients, there are 3 simple ingredients to this tonic, which is raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar, preferably organic and preferably with the mother, honey, and vitamin C powder. Those are the ingredients. All you would do is each morning, greetings, thank you for joining me, lovely people. If you're just joining me, we are talking about a simple immune boosting AM tonic that you can take right now to boost and support your immune system, and that you can incorporate into a healthy, holistic lifestyle. So the ingredients again are apple cider vinegar, honey, and vitamin C powder. Now, apple cider, so just to talk a little bit about each of the ingredients. So apple cider vinegar is basically fermented apple juice. It's apple juice that has been left to sit so that natural lacto fermentation can happen, which means that the yeasts and bacteria in the air feed off the sugar in the apples, and that creates friendly bacteria that we know are friendly to our body and our digestive tract, as well as other vitamins and minerals that are created in the process of those bacteria being created. So it's a fermented food. Fermented foods have lots of nutrients in them, as long as they haven't been cooked. So one fermented food, for example, is sauerkraut, which is basically just cabbage. It's just cabbage that's been chopped up and salt has been mixed into it, and then again that's been left to ferment. Now, if you make sauerkraut at home, literally just by chopping up cabbage, rubbing salt into it, and then letting it sit in a cupboard for a few days, and then bringing it into the fridge, then it will have a lot of the natural nutrients in it. But the sauerkraut that you find on the supermarket shelves, that sauerkraut has had to be heat treated or things have been added to it, preservatives have been added to it so that it can maintain its shelf life. Those versions don't have as many nutrients and they're mainly just eaten for taste. But the sauerkraut that you make at home is a lot more nutrient rich, in the same way that if you have yogurts that you find in the supermarkets, unless additional probiotics have been added to them, they're not going to have as much friendly bacteria, even though they're a fermented product. Technically, they're a fermented product. They're not going to have as much nutrients in them if they've been heat treated, which is why you want to go for live yogurts. And then, especially Black women, we don't do well with lactose, the sugar found in milk anyway. So if we are going to go and buy yogurts, it's best for us to get like coconut yogurts. Again, I don't recommend soya for Black women. It's best for us to get kind of coconut yogurts. There's almond milk yogurts right now, cashew nugget yogurts, hazelnut yogurts. So there are a lot of greetings, lovely people. Thank you for joining me. So there, greetings, sis. So there are a lot of fermented foods that a lot of us already know about, but they don't always have the same level of nutrients because of how they are preserved or stored to maintain their shelf life after that point. So even things like fermented cod liver oil. So cod liver oil is something that, we know is a traditional long time remedy that people used to use a lot of. But the fermented cod liver oil from back in the day was not, processed the way that cod liver oil is processed now. So cod liver oil back then was real just fermented cod liver oil. They got the livers of fish, they pressed the oil out of it. No, in fact, they actually got the livers of fish, put them in, it was normally like sailors on boats. They would get the livers of the fish. I know this all sounds gross. I know a lot of my audience are vegan, so I know this just sounds gross. But I'm very much use your food as your medicine. So I would rather if someone is deficient in certain nutrients, I would much prefer and recommend that they use food sources, whether that's, the only animal products I would actually recommend are eggs and fish. And I would much rather they do that rather than end up with significant deficiencies because maybe they're not in an economical situation to buy all the more expensive plant-based superfoods. So anyway, sailors would get fish, take the livers out, put them in big wooden barrels on their ships and let those livers ferment in that big barrel, press them down so that the oil came out of those livers, and then they would take the oil off the top. So it would be truly fermented cod liver oil, which is why that's one of the things that kept some sailors on some boats a lot healthier. And then they came back and they told, their family about it. And that's why a lot of grandmothers will still swear by cod liver oil as being what keeps them so healthy and strong. But again, the cod liver oil that's mainly found now is not fermented. It's just the liver has been pressed and the oils come out of it. But then the oil gets boiled slightly or heat treated and deodorized. And then it gets put into gelatin capsules. And then those gelatin capsules are very thin. And then they get put in a plastic bottle and they get sat on the shelf. And oils are very sensitive to heat and light and oxygen. So the cod liver oil capsules that you find on health food shop shelves don't have anywhere near as much nutrients as the fermented cod liver oil capsules that you can get in dark glass bottles, so that they're protected from the light and they're mainly refrigerated. So then they're protected from heat as well. So again, apple cider vinegar is a fermented food that's very beneficial to your gut because again, that fermentation process in all of those foods that I just mentioned does create friendly bacteria, and we need a good amount of friendly bacteria in our gut to keep the unfriendly bacteria in check so that they don't overgrow and cause negative health implications. So yeah, and you can get obviously different types of vinegar, and the type of vinegar that is, all vinegars are fermented, but the type of vinegar that's fermented and has most nutrients in it as well is apple cider vinegar, as opposed to a malt vinegar or a distilled vinegar. Those are just there for taste, as opposed to their actual health benefits. A little gross, but it's interesting to know what the source of our food is. Yeah, I know it is a bit gross. You want to start making fish head soup. That's when you're talking about gross. You want to make fish head soup when the fishmongers don't clean the heads. That's disgusting. And I do that, and I do it once. Like, I buy maybe 20 fish heads. I get a company to deliver 20 fish heads to me, and then I do it all in one morning, and then I never have to look at them again. And we enjoy fish broth regularly when we are not on a plant-based diet. And right now we're not plant-based, so we are including fish. So, but yeah, it is important for us to know where our food comes from, because a lot of people eat chicken and eat meat, and they would never in their wildest dreams kill those animals themselves, much less be the one that opens them up and skins them. I don't know if anyone remembers that kind of reality TV documentary show that was on Channel 4 years ago called Kill It, Skin It, Eat It. And they literally got people who were, I think they got a range of people who were meat eaters and some vegetarians to all come on this show, where they, like, there was a big studio, and on one end of the studio there was a live animal, like a live cow, and then they would kill that animal in the studio, and then they would start taking that animal apart, skinning it, taking organs and bits of it out. Then they would cook it, and then the participants would choose whether they would eat it or not. And some people were like, oh yeah, this is brilliant. Yeah, this is great. I got to see the whole process. Other meat eaters were so disgusted. They were like, oh my gosh, I'm never eating meat again. And I'm sure there were some vegetarians in there that were like, see, this is why we don't eat meat. But yeah, we're very detached from our food anyway, which is why I know even my children are not fully aware of where every single food they eat comes from. I know I only had a very limited awareness of where my fruit and vegetables came from until I started learning more about, food. I didn't even know how pineapples grew. When I saw a pineapple growing, I was like, that's really strange. I didn't know butternut squash grew off a vine. Yeah, we're very disconnected from our food, so this is a good time to learn. Greetings, lovely people. Thank you for joining me. Creole Greetings, sis. Lovely to see you, Nancy. So apple cider vinegar is one of the ingredients. Very good for your immune system. A fermented food, loads of friendly bacteria, helps your gut health. The fermentation process also creates vitamin C. So there are amounts of vitamin C in apple cider vinegar also, which are very beneficial. And even though it is quite an acidic tasting food, when it goes through your digestive system, it becomes alkaline. So it's an alkalizing food as well. Greetings, lovely people. Thank you for joining me on Instagram and on Facebook. Thank you, darling. What are the benefits of fish broth? So basically, fish broth or fish head soup, mannish water, chicken foot soup, all of those soups that we used to eat, those broths that we used to eat, they basically get all the nutrients out of the bones of the animals, as opposed to relying on the nutrients in the flesh of the animals. Now, typically the nutrients found in the flesh of animals is not as easy for our body to break down or bioavailable as the nutrients that are found in the bones. So the process of making fish broth, mannish water, which is where they get the big animal's head and put it in the water and cook it for ages, bone broth from red meat and chicken foot soup and all that kind of stuff, is you boil these bones in water with vegetables for the taste, and then you put things like fresh ginger in there, and again you put vinegar in there because the acidity of the vinegar actually helps to disintegrate the bones and leach the nutrients out of the bones. In the same way, when our diet is too acidic, the acidity in our body can leach minerals out of our bones. The same thing is happening when we're making broth, but we want that acidity to get the nutrients out of the bones, because the nutrients then goes into the liquid of the soup, and then we drink that, and then we have a very bioavailable. Greetings, lovely people. Thank you for joining me. We have a lovely broth, which is rich in the minerals from the vegetables that are cooked in there, and the minerals found in the bones, and the protein found in the bones, the gelatin found in the bones, all of these things that are brilliant for our skin, our joints, our skin, and our digestive system as well, because our gut is mainly made up of a nutrient or an amino acid called glutamine, and there's a lot of naturally occurring glutamine that's found in, and glucosamine as well. There's loads of glucosamine, but glutamine is one of the nutrients found in bones. So if we have a lot of digestive challenges, then we can get that glutamine from the bone broth, and that can help to literally rebuild our gut, which is why if you do any research into bone broth at all, it's almost always linked to things like athletic recovery, helping nourish your bones and joints and your skin, as well as helping your digestive system as well. So that's apple cider vinegar. The other nutrient that you put in there is honey. Most people know honey is very antibacterial. It's got a nice sweetness as well, so it does make the whole drink a lot more palatable. And obviously, the better the quality of the honey you will get more nutrients with that. So if you go all the way up to like the Manuka honeys are a lot more nutrient rich and have a wider range of nutrients in them. And then obviously you have the less expensive honeys, which are almost all antibacterial, but they all add that slight sweetness to the drink, which makes the whole thing more palatable. Also if it's during a colder time, or you have like throat challenges, you have a cold, you have a cough, the honey also acts as a nice lubricant, a nice soothing lubricant to your respiratory tract, to your throat. And right now, especially with this COVID-19 situation, it's being said that the COVID-19 likes dry conditions. So when you're keeping your throat lubricated with something like honey in the water, it helps prevent that from happening. So you would have apple cider vinegar, you would have honey, and you would have vitamin C powder. Now, vitamin C, is a popular nutrient that helps to boost your immunity by making your white blood cells more viable, more active, stronger, more able to do their actual job. And there's a lot of other nutrients involved in your immune system, but vitamin C is definitely a key one. The other benefit of vitamin C is that it is the nutrient that's been linked to helping your body to recover from the symptoms of stress. So if you have a very stress-filled life, all of the symptoms that can be caused by that, vitamin C helps with alleviating those as well. It helps a lot of hormonal imbalances. There's so many things that vitamin C can help, which is why so many health professionals are recommending it right now as well. So the way that you would make this drink is you would get some warm water. I would always recommend you have warm water. And first thing in the morning, you would put a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. A teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, a teaspoon or a tablespoon of honey. You can have a little bit, you can kind of add the honey to taste. You don't want to make it super sweet, but you can add the honey to taste. And then normally half a teaspoon of vitamin C powder. The vitamin C, and I would always recommend you use, and then you would basically mix them all up in that warm water and you would back that tonic. And we're talking about 100 to 150 mils of water that you would make this little tonic in. You would drink that, and then you would proceed to drink another 300 to 500 mils of water. Now you can have this 300 to 500 mils of water first and then have the tonic, or have the tonic and then have the 300 to 500 mils of water, because obviously first thing in the morning, you want to make sure you adequately rehydrate yourself. A lot of digestive processes happen through the night, and that will have used up a lot of the water that your digestive tract has. And you've just been parched all night. You haven't given your digestive tract, your whole body, any water all through the night. So you do want to give your body the opportunity to rehydrate straight away. You want to do both. Now, it's actually obviously fine to put the apple cider vinegar, honey, and vitamin C powder into 300 to 500 mils of water and drink all of that in one go. But I know some people just do not like the taste of the tonic. So if you have the tonic in a small batch and then you can wash it down with some plain water, for some people that is more tolerable than having a whole half a litre of this drink that they don't really like the taste of very much. Again, I would recommend vitamin C powder because it's generally easier for your body to absorb it because it's in a powdered form. I don't recommend the fizzing tablets, the effervescent ones, because almost all of those effervescent tablets, number one, they come with something to make them bubble. Number two, they normally come with some kind of sugar. Sometimes various types of sugar. They come with flavorings, they come with colorings to make the tablets different colors, and they come with a lot of preservatives as well. So the best way to get it is in the powder form. So you can literally just go online to eBay or Amazon and find ascorbic acid powder. I bought a kilogram for £16 on eBay last week. You can get it in Holland and Barrett. There are a lot of other companies who sell just the pure powder, and most of the powders are 2 grams of vitamin C or 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C is normally half a teaspoon. So for children, you want to reduce that down to maybe 500 mils max for children, and make sure they are definitely drinking enough water. And for adults are actually okay to have, as long as they're well hydrated enough, it's okay for adults to have about 1 gram for every 10 years of their life as far as vitamin C is concerned. So 2 grams is absolutely sufficient for anyone over 20. And again, if you have any concerns or you want to work with a medical professional or a health professional one-to-one so you can determine how much is safe for you, then you can go ahead and do that. But 2 grams is generally safe for most adults to have on a daily basis, because vitamin C is not a nutrient that is stored in your body, so you can't develop a toxic level of it because it's water soluble, so it will just come out in your pee if you've had too much, or it will trigger a small amount of diarrhea, which is not the pathogen induced diarrhea. It's literally your body just letting go of some excess water because of you've had too much vitamin C. But 2 grams is normally not enough to trigger that kind of a response, but it is definitely enough to help stoke your immune system first thing in the morning. Now, the other things that you can add to that are lime water. So what I will sometimes do is chop really well, really scrub the skin of a lime really well, slice it, and then I'll put it into a jar with some hot water, and I'll let that sit for a while so that the heat of the water can get the oils out of the skin of the lime. And then that's the water that I'll use to then put the vitamin C powder in, the honey and the apple cider vinegar. You can also add a pinch of cayenne pepper to that as well. Cayenne pepper is also good to boost the immune system. It also has some vitamin C in it as well. It's really good at helping your circulation because it's that peppery food, so it helps your blood flow to move around more quickly. And it's also really good for parasites as well. There's a lot of research that's been done into taking cayenne pepper and it getting down to your digestive tract, and then when it gets to certain parasites, it can help to eliminate and expel some of them as well. And obviously you would take enough so that you're not burning your throat. The reason why I'd recommend you take this either first thing in the morning or on an empty stomach is if you take it first thing in the morning, then it has a clear path down to your digestive tract because you haven't eaten in a long time, so it doesn't get held up waiting for other foods to get digested, and it can get straight down to that digestive tract where the nutrients can get taken out of it and where it can take hold, and where that apple cider vinegar can take hold as well. So there are quite a few supplements that are best taken first thing in the morning, especially if they're in liquid form. Some really do need to be taken with food to be broken down more easily, but this particular tonic is really best taken first thing in the morning. Also, definitely making sure that you have had enough water at that point and throughout the day also. So let me just check in on some of these comments. So I am actually having trouble reading some of the comments let me see if I can get there. One moment, lovely people. Uno momentito. Crumbs. Okay, so let's see if I can read some of these comments that are coming through. Oopsie. Okay, thank you, Instagram. There's a little camera angle. Let's try and get. What do you think? Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm just looking at some of the comments coming through. What are you holding your phone or device up with? There is a camera angle I always try and get. I have a ring light, and then there's an attachment on the ring light, and there's a phone holder on that. So that's what I'm holding that up with. And are you not behaving, darling? Okay, so one moment, Facebook. One moment, darlings, because we're having some trouble with Facebook at the moment. Okay, so what are your thoughts on, or what do you think about rose hip for vitamin C. Oh my goodness, sis, if you've got a rose hip growing near you, you need to gather as much of that as you possibly can. Rose hip is amazing for vitamin C. There are actually quite a few herbs that are really good for vitamin C. Rose hip is definitely one of them. Hibiscus or sorrel are brilliant sources of vitamin C as well. As far as like fruits and vegetables are concerned, we know that berries are very high in vitamin C, as well as grapefruit, kiwi, papaya. There are loads of natural sources of vitamin C, and yeah, rosehip is definitely one of them. Rosehip is actually one of the herbs that they use quite frequently to kind of add a nice taste to a lot of other herbal combinations. So making a tea out of it is, yeah, definitely another way of getting some a nicer taste out of your drink. So rose hips are something that you can kind of sit in some hot water and just let them steep either overnight, or because the other thing you can do with the lime is let it sit in water overnight, and then in the morning add some hot water to it, because then it will kind of infuse the water. You can do the same thing with rose hips, just let them sit in water overnight, and then in the morning just add some warm water to that, and that can create a yummy drink as well. Sis, I know you've been foraging. You need to give me some of your bounty when you come back from foraging in the woods near you. I need to find some woods near me and start foraging them as well. But speaking of foraging, I'm pretty sure I saw milk thistle growing in my garden. So if you're not sure what milk thistle is, I'm planning on doing a whole video on milk thistle. But milk thistle is definitely one of the best herbs to help your liver, the health of your liver. So, and I'm pretty sure I found some growing in my garden. So I'm chuffed. But thank you so much for joining me today. Again, if you are around later on, myself and Thankfully True, the sister who has been commenting, Thankfully True, we're going to be joining Jamelia on Jamelia's virtual table at 6 p.m. GMT. So if you go to YouTube and put in Jamelia's table, then you'll be, if you go there right now, you'll be able to set a reminder for the premiere later on today. Or you can just show up at 6 o'clock and you will see myself, Jamelia, the sister from Thankfully True, Debbie from Black British Parent, all of us talking about, greetings lovely, all of us talking about home education, especially during this time. If you are a Black mother or a Black woman who would like to become a mother, then I would love you to come and join us in the Black Mama Circle, which is a 9-week online natural health and personal development program designed specifically to help Black mothers. And that's going to be starting next Thursday, the 30th of April. And you can find out more about that program at thenaturallyyoucoach.com/Black Mama Circle or blackmamacircle.com. If you haven't already joined the mailing list, then please go to thenaturallyyoucoach.com, join the mailing list so you can find out about all of the wonderful things that are happening, and Easy and subscribers always get a discount on anything that is happening. Thank you so much for joining me on Instagram. I think Facebook, we may have lost Facebook, but thank you so much for joining me on Instagram. I look forward to seeing you again. We will be back online on Monday. And again, if you join the mailing list, you'll find out what I'm going to be talking about on Monday. And then Monday morning, I'll let everyone know what we're talking about, but it's probably, we're going to be going live at 9:30 p.m. on Monday evening. Again, thank you so much for joining me. Good afternoon, lovely people. Good afternoon, Mother Dirt. Thank you. Thank you, Thankfully True. Thank you, everyone who joined me today. Have a lovely day for the rest of your day. Take care and stay healthy.